Jinesha and I am going to play the song O Rahi O Rahi from the movie Imtihan sung by Kishore Kumar. When I started learning the piano, I was terrified of making mistakes. I believed creativity meant playing every note perfectly from the sheet. But one difficult afternoon, when my fingers kept stumbling, I chose to experiment instead of giving up. I stopped staring at the notes, imagined the colors of music, and played more freely. Imperfect but alive. Through slow, steady practice, those shaky notes became confident ones, and I even started my own channel to share my music. The real test came at my school event, where I was supposed to play only one or two songs. But the parents of other students loved it so much that they asked for more. Seeing my own parents' proud smile gave me a confidence that I've never felt before and showed me that when you put your creative soul to what you do, people don't just hear music, they feel it. Failure is not the opposite of creativity, it's the part of the process because every wrong note teaches you how to find the right one. Hello everyone, my name is Jinesha from grade 6 and today I want to talk about something that excites me every single day, the power of creativity. Picture a world where every idea you dream could change someone's life. Think of a small doodle in a margin of a notebook becoming the next big innovation. Imagine if your thoughts, your simple thoughts, had the power to shape the future. That's the power of creativity. What if creativity isn't about talent at all, but the courage to try? When we hear the word creativity, many of us immediately think of painting, music, dancing, or writing stories. And yes, creativity does live there, but it doesn't stop there. Creativity is much bigger. It is the way we solve problems. It is the way a scientist looks at a virus and sees a cure. It is the way a designer looks at a screen and sees a platform that brings millions together. And it is also the way I find creative ways to make the most boring homework feel a little interesting. Don't we all do that sometimes? I set myself small challenges like racing myself to a certain number of math problems or by turning piano practice into a play by adding rhythm or imagining a stage. Sometimes when I'm trying to remember dates or years in a history book, say the year is 1974, I remember 19 as the sum of my class number 6 and my bus route number 13, 7 as my favorite number, and 4 as the number of people in my house. Suddenly, the date sticks. That's what creativity looks like to me. Let me ask you something. Please raise your hand if you think you are creative. Now, look around. Some hands are raised, some are not. But here's the truth. Every hand in this room should be raised. Because creativity isn't a talent given to only a few special people. It's a skill that lives inside all of us. If you have ever found a shortcut, made someone laugh, solved a problem in a new way, or even rearranged your room, then you are being creative. Creativity isn't about art, it is about unlocking the hidden superpower inside us all. When I was little, I loved making things out of cardboard boxes. To most people, they were just empty boxes ready to be thrown away. But to me, they became castles, spaceships, and even secret hideouts. I didn't need any expensive toys, just imagination. That's the magic of creativity. It turns ordinary things into extraordinary possibilities. In South Korea, for example, instead of organizing a regular marathon, they organize something called a blogging marathon. People run, but they also pick up garbage along the way. At the end, runners are not only given medals for speed, they win based on how much trash they have collected. The problem of pollution wasn't solved by warnings or lectures, but by turning cleanup into a game. When I started learning the piano, creativity helped me overcome challenges. Playing the melody with my right hand felt hard. Adding chords with my left hand felt impossible. Arpeggios made me want to quit. But through practicing with rhythm, finger placement, and practice techniques, I turned struggle into progress. Creativity combined with perseverance turns obstacle into mastery. Creativity doesn't need big innovations or advanced technology. Sometimes it starts with small habits. In my family, we collect seeds from the fruits we eat, like apples, mangoes, oranges, etc. When we travel out station, especially near mountain ranges or rivers, we gently scatter these seeds around in safe areas. What would have been thrown away becomes a chance for new life to grow. We may never see those trees again, but knowing they one day might give fruit, shelter, and shade reminds me that creativity can quietly help the planet. One small action at a time. Albert Einstein, the man who literally changed how we see the universe, once said, "Logic will take you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere." Now, think of logic as your flashlight. You switch it on and you see the path right ahead of you so you don't trip. It's clear and it's reliable. Now, think of imagination as your sunrise. It doesn't just show you the path, it reveals the entire horizon. I remember a moment in class that taught me this lesson clearly. We were asked to build a science project using only paper and tape. No glue, no extra materials. At first, I thought this is impossible. That was my logic talking. But then I started imagining, what if I could fold the paper like wings? What if air could lift it? And suddenly, my project flew across the room. It didn't win any awards, but it did crash straight into my teacher's desk. And that moment is unforgettable. That experience taught me something important. Creativity is about seeing possibilities where others see limits. I have noticed a pattern again and again. Here's another example to support it. I remember trying to bake a surprise cake for my mom's birthday. I thought I could get extra creative and add some chocolate chips and some food coloring to make it look galaxy themed. Well, I forgot the baking powder and I added way too much blue dye. Instead of getting a fluffy galaxy cake, I pulled out a flat, heavy, bright blue brick out of the oven. It felt like something from another planet, and honestly, it tasted like a giant eraser. We couldn't eat it, but we spent the whole night laughing about it. That fail taught me that even when things don't go perfectly, the act of trying something new is where the best memories are made. This brings me to a hard truth. Creativity is not always easy. In fact, it can be scary. Why? Because to be creative, you have to be willing to be wrong. Thomas Edison, the man who gave us the light bulb, famously said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Can you imagine that? Trying 10,000 times? Many of us immediately want to give up if our Wi Fi takes more than 10 seconds to load. But creativity requires courage, patience, and persistence. It is the ability to connect things that don't seem connected. I like to call it the chocolate and chili effect. Separately, they are great. Together, they sound strange. But when you mix them, you get something bold, new, and exciting. Every invention we use today, the phone in your pocket, the medicine that makes you feel better, the plane that flies you across the ocean, all of them started as a weird idea of someone brave enough to stick with. The world uses so much electricity that scientists measure it in terawatt hours. 1 terawatt hour can power 90 million LED bulbs for an hour. And it all began with one person imagining light in the dark. Now, let's imagine a different kind of darkness. When girls were told school wasn't for them. Malala Yousafzai imagined otherwise. Because of her and many others, millions of girls now sit in classrooms, and the world is rethinking who deserves education. All of them had something in common. They didn't start with perfect solutions. They started with someone looking at the world as it was and imagining it differently. That's what creativity does. It doesn't just show you the path, it reveals the entire horizon. Creativity is something we all share. It is something that no one can ever take away from you. I am still learning the piano, and it teaches me that creativity grows when we practice and play. For me, creativity comes from 5 simple ideas. First, creativity is a skill anyone can learn. Second, small changes can make a big difference. Third, think differently because creativity finds new ideas. Fourth, don't be afraid to fail. Mistakes help us learn. And fifth, use creativity as your superpower to solve problems. So, here's my challenge to you. The next time you face a problem, whether it's a hard math equation, a fight with a friend, or something you see in the news, don't just ask, what's the answer? Ask instead, what's a creative answer? So, I'd like to conclude with a small poem. An idea can start with a simple why, a quiet thought passing by. But when we believe and dare to try, that small idea learns to fly. I am Jinesha, and I believe creativity is the superpower we all share. Let's use it, and together let's imagine a world brighter than we have ever seen. Before I quit the stage, I just want to play one more song for you all. This song is from the movie Jurm, sung by and is the song Jab Koi Baat Bigad Jaye. Thank you.